welcome back to Love by Design. I know that this is yet another special because I usually just talk about myself, but I had to say yes to this person because Donna is just so amazing. We met maybe almost a year ago when I was on your own podcast.
Yes,
And
yes.
today I get the honor of interviewing you and talking about your brand new book. But if you haven't met Donna, well, this is Donna Savage. She's a speaker, she's an author, she's an embodiment relationship coach. She's also all about nervous system regulation. If you haven't heard that word, then you want to stay tuned to this one because it's become a game changer when it comes to healing and becoming your embodied, empowered self. So
Absolutely.
Donna's brand new book is, I love the title, by the way. I love
Thank
you
you.
and it won't happen again.
Never again. That's it. We're done.
That's it. The Survivor's Guide to Healing and Reclaiming Self. And I think that at this era, this time that we are in the world, there's no better time than to have this conversation. So I'm super excited to have you today as a special
Thank
guest
you.
on the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you so much for having me, Joan. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I did mention that one book, but we continue, we'll talk. We keep talking.
I know you have multiple books, so maybe you can
I'm not proud to say
Oh, I know you. I know you.
it.
And so maybe later you can kind of just talk about your book, your other book, your program, who you help, and all of that stuff. But I want to start with your story because I know when I was quickly browsing through your book, I saw that you talked about your upbringing and kind of watching your parents go through a very dysfunctional relationship and how that kind of led into your own relationships. So maybe just take us back and just tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm Jamaican, born in a two-home parent home. And so quick high level, around 6 o'clock, I saw the first time that my parents was in a physical altercation. We were never really around that. But it's so funny that when you see one, you continue to start seeing different folks having these confrontations. I know there's a lot of emotional confrontation and trauma that was in the household, words being said, people being uncomfortable. My home, my grandparents' home, because those are always, grandparents are here. And that was my first time seeing it. And I remember my mom came to me and said, go ask daddy if he doesn't love her anymore. And my dad said, oh, of course I love mom. And I said, why did you hit her? He said, you know what? I was drunk and I love her and I won't do it again. But it happened time and time and time again. So then I got married and the same thing happened. Physical and emotional abuse. I love you, but I won't do it again. Time and time and time again. So I correlated being in love in the form of abuse. If he hits me, that means he loves me. If he verbally abused me, that means he loves me. Because that's how I correlated. Because everybody that we surrounded ourselves with, that was the outcome. That was the lessons that we were being taught. This man loves you because he's either cheating on you or he's hating you. And, he keeps coming back home. That means he loves you.
Yeah.
That means he loves you. And you're getting those verbiage and those acclamations from elders, right? Because they also believe that. And you're a young person hearing this and seeing that. And then your idol, which is your dad, your first love, is
Yeah.
saying, oh, no, I won't do it again. And my mother sat down for years waiting for him not to do it again until one day she got fed up. And the day that she got fed up is the day that we came to Canada. But then my journey went straight into it because I came on a Wednesday, met my husband on a Saturday.
No, stop.
My girl. So
Wow.
yeah, and this is what we talk about energy, man. Any kind of energy and vibration you're on, you're bringing that
You're
person to you
bringing that
because
back.
he's coming from a traumatic home as well, emotional and physical abuse. So guess what? We attracted each other.
Yeah.
Met him the Saturday. Wednesday came up, then I met him on the Saturday. It's crazy. So for many, many, many moons, and that's why I stayed with him for so long, just like my parents. He loves me. That's why he beats me, or that's why we fight in. And we get so used to the noise and the confusion and the argument. It's like a high. You know what I mean? So if it doesn't happen, that means he doesn't love you, right? So it sat with you until one day it just got to start getting uncomfortable. Like, no, this doesn't feel right. But it took a very long time. But sometimes you just need that one person to come into your life and say, why are you sitting and why are you accepting this?
Mm.
And it's like the haha moment. And I said, I knew there was something wrong, but I wasn't sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it started. Just that one person that came into my life, maybe 20 years into the relationship. Yeah, because I was home raising kids, work, home, work, home. You know, the volume, the continuous thing, work, home, homework, and never really went out and socialized with anybody else. So that was my life.
Mhm. So
Hmm.
what was the final breaking point? Because the truth about these type of relationships that are quite extremely narcissistic and dysfunctional, it's hard to pry yourself to actually walk away. What was the breaking point for you where it was like, I'm out of here?
I'm very quiet. I'm an introvert. So I tend to watch stuff, but I'm also stubborn because nothing is going to pry me away from this man because I am going to change him. He's going to be the perfect person for me. You know what I mean? And I fight and I fight and I fight until one day my cousin visited from England and she stayed with us for a month and she was there Christmas Eve. Boxing Day, she went out and she bought a book called Codependency for me. And she gave me the book and I'm thinking, well, why is she giving me this book? Like, I'm not codependent. I'm like, and 2 days passed. She said, Donna, have you read the book? No. Have you read the book? No. And she said, listen, I'll wash the dishes, go on and read the book. And I said, okay, just to appease her. I'm in the book, maybe 20 minutes, Joan, and I saw me. But at the same time, the stubborn part was saying, if you're this person who, when your boss is saying something to you, you're going to accept it for what it is, this book is not about me. I choose the one thing.
Yeah.
Because if my boss talks to me, I'm responding back to her. That one thing I'm arguing about. So I had to really sat down with myself and said, mm-mm. And then so that was one incident. Like, I think it woke me up.
Mhm.
And then the other incident was my kids kind of saw us fighting. All this time I'm thinking they're not seeing it. And the day that noticed that they saw it, I said that was it. And I made up my mind because I don't want my kids to think it's okay. Because for me, I saw my parents, I thought it was okay. And she, because she was just so in her head, my mother, God rest her soul, but she was also weirdly introverted. She was even worse than I am. She never talked about anything. And that was it for me. My kids saw it. My body was twitching. I was just start feeling uncomfortable. We just bought a house up, maybe we're in there for a year. And I thought, that's it. I'm done. And I literally, the time that we sold our house, because we had to pay all the penalty, literally the investment was gone, lost my job,
Mm.
all in one thing. But I refused to stay. I refused because I was done.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that was my first. Um, and because he knows that I keep saying, I'm leaving, I'm leaving, I'm leaving, I keep staying, coming back. But when I made up my mind, I think I needed somebody to say, what you're going through is not right.
Yeah.
I just needed that one person. And because she knew, because she came into my house,
Yeah.
my family knew something was going on, but they weren't sure because I wasn't saying anything, but she was in the house. So she saw it. So I think I needed her to be there to just not say too much, but she was just giving me books and she's making me watching programs, so that's how it started. And not even 2 years after that, I was out. House was sold and I moved out.
So I feel like we need to unpack a few of these things that you've talked about already because I was asking my mom just over the weekend because an Italian guy who I just met, who happened to live in Nigeria at some point in the 80s, was saying
Hmm.
to me how he just said, "Oh, Igbo people still polygamous. Do they
Polygamy,
still
yeah.
have many wives because
Wives,
having
yeah.
many wives was something to brag about?" I'm like, I don't know about that. I was like, well, I don't think so. He was like, no, no, no. Yeah, that when he was back there, men had multiple wives and it was the
Hmm.
norm. So I asked my mom, is it true? And she said, yeah, it was normal. Like nobody
Hmm.
talked about it because it was normal. But I'm
Hmm.
telling you, this is just what, 20 something years ago. And so when I think about that time, like 30, 40 years ago, things were really, really different, right? And so my mom went through an abusive marriage as well, and I was wondering why did you stay? But that was their time. And sometimes we inherit some of these things and we think it's okay because it's what we saw because they didn't know any better or it was just the norm at that time. And so for a lot of people, they're still stuck on, but this is how I saw my parents live. Okay. And you had somebody who could wake you up, right? So what would you say to any woman who's listening to this right now, who already, because your body's telling you this is not okay, but you keep coming up with excuses, convincing yourself, no, I can make it work. Maybe I'm too stubborn. Maybe I'm the one who triggered him. Maybe. What is one word that you can give a woman right now who is still living in that whole past dynamics of how relationships or marriages used to be?
Most of the things that hold us in our abusive relationship like that is just fear. Fear of failure, fear of people talking about me. And I think that's one of the biggest things is what other people say. It's like you're people pleasing. It's not about you. It's not about what you're going through. It's about the fear of what other people are saying. Or can I do this on my own?
That's another one.
Right? It's huge, and he will love me if I keep loving him.
Mm.
Because this is the thing, right? So you're in this relationship and you're fighting, and then that's what's going to happen next is that you're going to make love to make up. So then your endorphins are high. So they keep going back to, oh my God, that was the best because da. You know what I mean? So it's huge for them. So it's like, and then after it's a crash because then you're going to start living on the memory that what happened before the whole love making,
Yeah.
right? But then it keeps going over and over again, and people will he now puts you in this vulnerable state of nobody's going to love you more than I do. Or let's say if you have kids, nobody's going to love you and the kids. Those are things, and I'm speaking from experience because those are the verbiage that I got. What man is going to love you like I do? Or what man is going to love you now that you have 4 children?
Yeah.
Right. And so what happened is we believe him. Why shouldn't I believe him? Right? Because my mother stayed, my grandmother stayed, their mother stayed. And I know you're saying it's a different time, but abuse is abuse no matter at what stage it is.
Just wasn't
You know
called
what I
out
mean?
then, but it's
It's
not right today.
it's not right today because we're speaking about it. There's no shame in it.
Yes.
It's a Me Too movement.
Yeah.
I went through this.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm now choosing to be a better person by releasing and leaving all that pain and start learning how to love myself. I'm making choices.
Yeah.
Is it easy? No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's like when the word, and then you come out of this relationship, you're having the second thought in your head, what about the children? Again, that's another fear-based argument to yourself. The kids are fine. Because I remember my kids asking, Mommy, what took you so long? I said, they said because I'm thinking I'm hiding it from, but they
Yeah.
know.
They know. They know.
So the conversation that we need to start having, if we have children, is do we want our children to live the life that we lived?
Correct.
Do you want your children to go to that kind of mental and physical abuse? Do we want our children to be strong thought leaders?
Yeah.
We want them to depend on themselves in terms of loving me first. Let me look after me first. It's like when you go on the airplane, mask yourself first and then look after, right? So I want our children and our younger persons to be put ourselves first. So for me, I had to talk myself through it. And I'm going to tell you, my daughter, the youngest daughter, one day she came to my room and saw me crying. And she said, Mommy, what's wrong? And I said, Baby, I don't know. She said, It's the daddy. I said, Baby, it's not only daddy, it's a lot of things. And she left the room and she went for a pen and paper and she gave a book, one of her book and a pencil. And she said, Here, Mom, she was like 7 or 8. Writing is cathartic. My 7-year-old said to me, My girl, look up in the dictionary, what the hell is cathartic? I tell you, these kids, they're healers. And that's why I started writing because of my 7-year-olds.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, it helped. So that's for me, I had to make the right choices and can't be people pleasers because I remember one of my aunts said to me when I said what's happening, and the first she didn't ask me what was wrong if I'm okay. And you're going to sell that nice big house? Yeah. So see, those are the kind of brainwashing foolishness that our ancestors and our elders will place on us if we're not strong. It happened to me time and time and time again. That's why I keep going back. Right? So yeah.
Yeah. But like you rightly said, it's not easy. It can be very scary. It can feel very lonely. It can feel like there's no support. And that's why I love the work that you're doing, because now women don't have to feel like they'll be alone. There are
Absolutely.
other people who've done it, who've walked that line and can guide and kind of give you the holding that, because look, it doesn't matter whether you've been married for 1 year or 10 years. When you divorce is always quite traumatic.
Mm,
Like it will crack you wide open.
yes.
Kind of
Hurt is hurt.
hurt is hurt. Yeah, you kind of need that
Mm,
support to go through it. So for any woman who's maybe going through a rough patch, let's just call it a rough patch, but
it's a
it's
rough
a
patch. It's
toxic
a rough
relationship,
patch.
right? Maybe now's the time to start having those questions with yourself. And if you have kids, like you were saying, think about your kids. Is this the reflection you want for them? Do you want someone else to treat them this way and for them to see,
Exactly.
right? And really know that you can be supported. It's going to be fearful regardless, but there is a
Hmm.
way that you can do it. Honor yourself, because you have to wear your mask first and do what is right for you and your kids.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Abs Absolutely.
So, another thing that you talk about in your book is dimming your light and silencing your voice. I find that that's something that a lot of women go through as well, especially when they're in dysfunctional relationships and even just upbringing as well. I know that for me, my upbringing was kind of the biggest factor by which I lost my voice, because it was always shut up, your elders are telling you,
Exactly.
like, and so forget the marriage. I lost my voice way before I got married.
Mhm.
So for you, what was that like? And how did you start finding and reclaiming your voice again?
I started claiming my voice after divorce, believe it or not. I had to, Joan, I had to really take stock. Like I literally had to go back to how Donna was when she was younger, when I thought about my upbringing. The classes, the dance classes that my parents would send us to, all the extra curriculum, and how my parents were like, if we go to concerts or dinner, my dad would say, Donna, come over here and do the splits for these people. Or Donna, you know what I mean? So those were the times before I lost my voice. And I literally had to go in and remember those times, right? Then I needed a side hustle because no, literally, I'm a single mother raising four children. Although the dad was there, but
There, but not really there.
he's not really there.
Yeah.
I had to find a side hustle. So one of the thing is for me is when it comes to the whole 25 years, not understanding sexuality. And that's how it started. Not having an orgasm, not understanding, just looking in the mirror and saying, oh my God, you're absolutely beautiful. Because even growing up, you've always heard your ugly lips are too thick. This is a Caribbean. Yeah, your lips are too thick. Your neck is too long. Like they come up with every excuses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so you believe the hype. So all these times I'm going through the motions and looking like what they told me that I was. So I remember a bunch of girls and I were talking, and they're saying, "Oh, me too." It's like a Me Too movement. Never had an orgasm. Me too. Never had an orgasm. So I decided to look into selling sex toys because everybody talk about vibrators that they're orgasm, right?
Yeah.
And I looked into it, found wholesalers. I've never been to one of those shows before, so this is just a whim that I decided. Let me try this business because everybody is crying that da 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 da, right? And to be honest, that was my first orgasm too. It's from a toy. And I said, oh, it works. So I started
Sell it. Hey.
right. So in my mind's eye, I thought I would literally set up a booth and people come and buy. That's what I thought it was going to be because I've never really been to a sex party before, a toy party before. And a lady hired me and set it up. And she said, so when are you going to be ready? I said, ready for what? She said, presenting your toys. I said, present to who? Because at this point, I hate speaking in crowds. Like nobody heard I even hated my voice. Nobody heard me. Nobody don't hear me. Like, if you're two and three people, yes, and no, my girlfriends, but this was a group of like 40 or 50 women. And the woman tell me I have to go tell and talk about the toy. I said, Joan, talk about sweats and wetness. And I bullshit my way right through the whole thing. I was terrified. And then after it was done, I said, hold on, but that wasn't too bad, you know, because people are asking questions and I'm answering questions, and hey, that wasn't too bad. So that's when I start with my voice, because now that's the hardest thing. Remember, I've lost my voice. And now I'm talking about sexuality. I'm Caribbean. Remember, sex is a taboo. You're supposed to procreate, and
Absolutely.
that's
Yep.
it. No
Yep.
pleasure, right?
Yes,
And
not for
they're
pleasure.
speaking about it. And that's when as much as I gained my voice in talking about sexuality, there was still shame around sex for me. Very much so, but I never recognized that. And when I recognize it, I've been doing the business for like 6 years straight, successful, party after party, doing great. And I remember I put a toy out and said, da da da, toy for sale. And this Caribbean man sent a message and said, we're nasty and disgusting and we're tired, this, that. And I responded to him. I said, listen, you asked to be friend on my page. My page is about sexuality. If you don't like it,
Keep it moving.
keep moving.
Yep.
But it triggered me. It triggered me. And I thought, okay, if that triggered me, obviously I need to I still have work to do on myself. So I decided to hire an NLP coach. And that's when the work actually started. Because after all the abuse and stuff, I never went to anybody. I never talked to anyone. I was just healing myself through writing, but sometimes it's not enough.
Mm.
And I went to an NLP coach and we did a bunch of work, and I've never seen so much tears when I was going through that session, and she did an amazing job. So no, I'm an NLP coach as well, certified. No,
For sure.
because I know it worked,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
And so go
I,
ahead.
I just love how you brought in the triggers and the healing and the voice, because I think they're all part and parcel of the same thing. So because some people might just think, oh, okay, I can just go and figure out my side hustle and just start selling stuff. It's not, it's deeper work than that. And I'm glad that you brought up sometimes you're not even aware, because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm healed. I don't need healing. I'm good. I've moved on. I'm good. All it takes is one comment.
One
Boom,
comment.
just you're down.
That's it, Joan.
Back to that little girl who's frightful, who's ashamed, who's all of that stuff just comes in. So it's very important, because a lot of people still don't understand the value of having a coach or a mentor or a guide to help you through this process. I wish there was a magic wand that we could just wave and people just get transformed, but you
Mhm.
have to do the work, and the work is deep work. It's
It's
really
deep.
facing all those shadows that you haven't looked at, all those triggers, oh, some of the things that you don't even remember, like some of it is from
Mhm.
child when like 4 years old, you don't even
Mhm.
remember. And
Mhm.
really doing the work so that you can let go of all that baggage and now
Mhm.
find your true voice,
Mhm.
not the cracked version of your voice, your true
No,
voice.
the through. And it's so funny you said that. And that's how the I Love You and It Won't Happen Again came to life. I got another coach. And we were talking about some because to be a speaker. So he was helping me on my speaking thing, but he wanted to know my history and talked about it. But he was asking the right questions. So in asking the right questions, I'm thinking, hold on there. This when I recognize, oh my God, those are the words from my dad. At 6 years old was the first time I saw the fight. So he keeps asking me, and every time he asks me, he's like, it's just like what coaching and therapy does. It's so layered. And some hurt is just so your unconscious hold on to something so tight and covers you don't even remember what it was. And this is what happened to me here. Because I didn't remember where my trigger came from or where my abuse mentality, you know what? Because I remember my father argued, but I never remember seeing anything like, they argued. That was like, but until those right questions, until it hit my subconscious and it just start digging, and I said, oh my God. Oh my God, this is like maybe 5 years ago. This is the thing about therapy and coaching. It's an ever going thing. It's just not a one day thing. So in doing that is when everything starts. Like I regurgitate everything on my soul. Like my body felt so much lighter because I remembered. Some things in elementary and high school I don't remember. People's names I don't remember. But because I've been doing the work so much so, Joan, it's like my past is nice and clean state because guess what? I remembered why I'm like this. I remember why that triggers me. I remember what, you know what I mean? So that's what I said. The work is going to constantly go. This is going to keep constantly going, constantly, constantly, constantly going. And that's why I believe in community and friendships. Before I was like a one person, I can do this by myself. But no, we need friendship, we need community. Right. And so in hindsight, to say all I have to say is that's how this book was come to birth, because I remembered what triggered me and why I stayed with my ex for so long, because he loves me and he won't do it again. And I lived on those words. My mother lived on those words. After our second child, he got another woman pregnant. And I stayed with him. You know what my reason was, Joan? My grandmother did it, so can I.
Mm.
So these are things that you live on, and things that triggers you, and things that's going on in your life, and you wonder, why am I doing this thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yep.
and that's why one of the big things that I talk about too is epigenetics, but we'll talk about that another time. But you know what I mean?
Exactly. But I want to go back to the sensuality and the sexuality
Yes,
side of the
yes.
house. And I'm glad that you openly shared that a lot of women have never
No, they haven't.
and it's easy to say, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not that important to me. Maybe I'm not a sexual person. Yeah, I don't care. There's more important things to life. Like, what do you have to say to those women?
I'm gonna tell you something. They don't, because they're still thinking that sex is not supposed to be about pleasure. And it's not supposed to be about energetic work, but it is supposed to. There's a reason why orgasm was created. It's supposed to remove that energy through your body and remove blockages.
Yeah.
Sex is sexual exchange of energy, right? It's not, I'm sleeping with you, I'm having kids for you, or I'm just doing it just because I don't want my man to get pissed off, or I'm doing it to get something, or
Mm.
he's going to give it to her because she wants something. It's always an exchange. There's a reason.
Yeah.
You're right. There's always a transaction in whatever capacity of the word. So we need to teach women that, you know what, sexual pleasure or orgasm, it's your God-given right for pleasure. But what does that look like? Because you never had it. People's preconceived notion that having a clitoral orgasm is pleasure. But what they're misunderstanding, what they're misconstruing is that, let me go back for a second. They're having this moment with their person. Yeah. And they're feeling nice, and they're having penetration, or they're doing what they're doing. It feels nice. Oh, let's do it again. The hindsight of it is not even the intercourse that they want, it's the intimacy, it's the touching, it's the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're craving. But they're misconstruing it for having penetration sex, but it's not. It's that I just want you, I just want to feel you, I want to smell you, that pheromone, right? But that's all they know. And then they know clitoral orgasm, because that's every woman out there, that's all they're having. It's a quick high, boom, done.
Done.
That's it. I had a client, when she talked about it, she said, Donna, you're the only person that I heard that talk about orgasm, but I always have an orgasm about clit. And I thought, oh, whatever, because I never realized that it was they don't know it's more to it than that. If you have true orgasm, my girl, you don't want to make your man even touch you, because you're just so, I'm satisfied. You know what
Stay away from me. I'm
leave
good.
me alone. I'm good. Turn your back if you want. You know what I mean? But with clitoral orgasm, no, it's a different thing, and I want women to understand what true pleasure is. But you can't get true pleasure if you're not regulated. If your nervous system is out of whack, you can't have true pleasure or true orgasms.
Yeah.
If you're constantly in fight or flight,
Mm.
you cannot have true pleasure. If you're constantly in fight or flight, you can't even be happy with a happy moment,
Yeah.
because you're say you if it this you get this beautiful camera today. Oh my God, I'm so happy. But something bad is going to happen now. Shoot, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? They can't be happy at a moment, because it's always a constant battle.
Mm.
Because in vagus nerve, it's not regulated. And that's one of the reasons why, for me, I didn't recognize my whole body. Remember, I told you my body was twitching. through marriage. My nervous system was all over the place. If I get something good, I'm expecting something bad. Some people can't sit in peace because they constantly do things because they're constantly thinking in the back of their mind, if I sit down, I'm going to keep thinking, thinking, thinking.
Yeah.
Nobody can have a true orgasm if your body is not regulated. You have to learn to lean back into pleasure. Make me feel safe into pleasure. Love me. But you have to first love yourself. You have to first understand what true love is. You have to understand, listen, what is true pleasure? I mean, if you're okay with having a clitoral orgasm and going to bed, that's fine. But who wants that?
When there's more.
And there's more.
Yeah.
When I tell women about you can even have orgasm by yourself, they're like, what? We do not know how to breathe anymore.
No. So shallow.
It's
Yeah.
all shallow. We need some diaphragm, some deep breathing, some true looking at yourself in the mirror, touch, get some baby oil.
Woo!
You know what I mean?
Borrow some PDD oil.
That
But
day.
I know we're going to move into the nervous system regulation, but just to wrap up this whole orgasm and sensuality and
Mhm.
sexuality, which has plagued a lot of us who grew up,
Absolutely.
especially those of us who grew up religious, and even just culturally, it was
Culturally,
always
yeah.
a bit taboo. But even if we go back in time and you read history, it was always very powerful, right? A lot of people in power, they knew how much you can manifest just by having this stuff.
Yes,
And so, yes, pleasure is just one aspect of it, but there's so much power behind it. It can literally change your life. But there's a prerequisite, which is that your nervous system has to be regulated.
regulated.
You have to be able to surrender to the action. You have to surrender to it. You cannot be there wanting to control. Is he enjoying it?
That's
Am I
something
enjoying it?
you
Is it
yeah.
too long? Is it too short? Should I cross
Yeah.
my leg, spread my leg, do this, do that? Yeah. You can't be in your head. You can't be in your mind. There's no thinking at this point.
To be in
You
your body.
just really settle into your body and just surrender to it. So
Mhm.
now let's talk about surrendering the body and really regulating the nervous system. And maybe even start from what are the signs to know that you're off, like your nervous system is off? I know you mentioned flight or flight, but what are some telltale signs that anybody listening to this can just be like, yep, I'm off?
I'm going right back. Never understand how to be happy. Don't know how to be by yourself. Don't know how to be in silence.
Ooh.
People, yeah, people pleasing.
Mm.
Those are some highs. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, there is so many things where people nervous system is off, and it could be the smallest thing, and they're not recognizing it. Even their attention to having losing stuff. I'm going to work 5 jobs because I want to have my house. Why are you so focused on having this big house when you have to work 5? Which one? What is it? Why can't you get something smaller? Oh no, because everybody's always people pleasing.
Yeah.
It's about no, it's always somebody else, eh?
Always external validation. Try to be like
I
them,
remember
trying to
once I
be
dated
them.
this guy and he said, and until he said it, we went shopping and I wanted this dress. And he said, I like this one. I said, don't care what you said. It's about me. And he says, you know what, Donna, you know what your problem is? I said, what is my problem? You're not dressing for yourself, you're dressing for other persons, other women. I said, no. He said, yeah, you're not dressing for me or yourself, you're dressing for other women. And I had to think on those words because we do that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. 1000%.
We do that, right? That's also me trying to validate myself through other person's eyes, right? So those are little things that we do and not even realizing that it's a part of the whole vagus, unregulated nervous system that we're walking around with. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Do you want to go? Yes. I don't want to, but I'm going to go just because. There's a mind new stay in an abusive relationship. Apart, something dropped, boom. It's like you're all over the place. You know what I mean? We don't know how to glide. We don't know how to receive
Mm.
because now we become this giver. We're constantly giving, giving, giving. We don't know how to receive. We don't know how to say thank you. Oh, Joan, you're beautiful. Me? You
I got wrinkles. Yeah,
know,
exactly.
right? We always constantly want validations.
Yeah.
So where I am in my life right now, Joan, it's okay. I'm good. I'm good. Did it take work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do we sometimes falter back? Yes, but then we have to so no, 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 we're not going back there. You know what? I want to lean into my sensuality. I want to lean into Donna Savage. I want to lean into my peace. I would go for dinner by myself. I travel by myself. I'll go for a long ride by myself. A lot of people can't say they do that. Even if they do that, their mind is at home thinking about, other things. I'm on my road and I'm good. COVID was the best time for me because I'm by myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I think at that point, to be honest, is when a lot of people went into themselves and said, no, man, this is uncomfortable. But sometimes we have to be uncomfortable to get comfortable.
I totally agree. So I used to be like that, and I was like the life of the party. I always had people over. I'm always on my phone, 20, 30 calls a day, because I was always afraid to face myself, because that's what silence does. I think it was the pandemic. Like I had my first awakening in 2019, just before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, when I was forced to be by myself, holy cow, like sit in that solitude. And it was scary.
Very.
Because now the chatter is so loud, so now it's me against this chatter. It's me against the voice, right? But it really helped me to really look at myself and really deal with all the stuff that
Hmm.
I hadn't faced. Because if you had asked me at that point, I said, no, I'm healed, I'm good. But I wasn't, right? And it took work. It took this, okay, let's go there. It's going to be dirty, it's going to be ugly. I probably won't like myself most of the time, but that's okay. But
It's
because the only
okay.
only way to get to the other side is to go through. You really have to
Hmm.
go down that path and now be comfortable. Now, oh, I'm by myself 90% of the time. I don't need
And
to.
you're okay with it. And you're okay.
I'm like, I'm good.
Listen, I love it. I love it.
I'm so good. So maybe for anybody who, because I feel like you would know when your nervous system is up. Like you would know you're uncomfortable, you're restless, you want to pick up the phone, you want to distract yourself, right? You want to do anything but be by yourself. You're
Mhm.
still looking for external validation. What is one quick tip that you can give them to just quickly regulate? Right. So right now something's happened and I'm like, oh my God, the sky's falling. Like, what is one way for them to start?
Mm. Tap. Deep breath from your diaphragm. Just tap. Right now, my whole body is vibrating, just tapping and breathing. That's it. Just tap. You getting nervous? That's it. Go for a quick walk. Go outside. You know what I mean? Rock if you have to. But the biggest for me to regulate or anyone, tap.
Mm.
It's one of the biggest. It seems simple.
Yeah, yeah,
It does seem it does feel simple because when I was going through the whole training, I was like, tap. But honestly, and if I get nervous, if I'm gonna speak, if I'm going to speak at all, before I go on, this is me. So I can regulate because I'm such an introvert, I have to psych up myself before I go and speak, right? I want to go do TEDx talk.
yeah.
And it's in the back of my mind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start applying. And then just thinking about it, and the big nerve, this constantly, constantly, you know. But to be honest, Joan, that's the easiest and the simplest thing. It's just the tap. And the next one is learn to do some box breathing.
Mm.
4 in, hold for 7, and breathe out. It's such an easy thing. But right away, if you're out and about and something is bothering you, if somebody's arguing with you, you don't wanna, just tap and just take some deep breath. You'd be so surprised how helpful that is.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. A lot of breathing, because I used to, and I didn't know until I think it was I don't know, my cousin, my therapist said to me, your breathing is so shallow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, me too.
Like breathe. I was like, I'm breathing. Like, no, you're not breathing.
What do you mean I'm not breathing? My girlfriend does reflexology and she does stone work and the whole 9 yard. So I went to do a massage with her. And she says, my sister, you're not breathing. I said, I'm not dead. What do you mean?
I mean,
I
I'm
said,
not
my sister,
breathing.
She said, and she held my hand, she put it on my stomach. She said, and then she put it on my chest, all chest breathing.
Yeah.
Thinking, what the heck? So now we have to learn how to breathe like babies.
Yeah.
We have to learn to breathe like babies.
Mm. That's awesome. Okay, so that's one tip to quickly regulate yourself, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Just a tip.
The real work is really the longer term work of breaking all those cycles, the conditioning, all the trauma that you've been through. So kind of walk us through what does that look like for someone who's like, okay, you know what, my life's been stuck. I'm frustrated. I'm going to be honest, like it's not working. I need to restart my life. I want to reclaim my sovereignty. I want to reclaim my power, my voice. How would they work with you? What does that look like?
So first of all, I love what you said because obviously they've acknowledged that there's something wrong with them or they're going through
Oh,
some really dark time.
you can't convince anyone.
They
Well,
sometimes listen, but sometimes they think they're convincing themselves this is going on in the but oh, maybe it's because I'm having a bad day. Because I've a client, they come and said, you know, this is what's going on, and then they will call me next day and said, oh, I think I'm going to cancel or hold off because I was just having a bad day. I said, whenever you're ready, I'm here, right? So essentially, first and foremost, I make them sign a contract, and I want them to write a letter to
Mm,
themselves because I can't bring you through. I'm just going to walk with you first and foremost, right? And I'm going to let them know that it's going to be it's going to be dark depending on the kind of hurt because for me hurt is hurt. I can't say mine's is worse than you because this happened, this happened, this happened. It's how we perceive and how we feel hurt, right? So essentially, that's what it is. Like we're going to sit and talk and literally do a whole bunch of exercises and different modalities. And I have a couple ladies that I work with as well, you know, and this is where I talk about community, you know. And first and foremost, a lot of women who are going through this don't even know what love is.
no, no, no.
Ask, you know, so you have to start with that basis.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to hear you love your lips, you love your eyes, you love your hair. What is love? How have you showed up for you today? Not how you showed up for your neighbors or your child or you know, how did you show up for you today? What is one thing that you did for you? How did that make you feel? You know, and a lot of times those told stumpers for them because they have no idea because they're so people are so given are constantly giving up everything and everything. And when it comes to them, there's like, I don't know, what is love? What is it that I need? You know, I want a husband. What do you want? Oh, first and foremost, he has to have a big package and he has to be 6'2" and he has to make $200,000.
Yeah.
What about personality? What about
What about value?
nothing?
What about nothing? None of
You
that.
know what I mean? And I keep seeing women. I know we're coming off of the bridge a little bit.
Mhm.
That there's no men in Toronto, but the men that's showing up in Toronto may not look like what's in your head or on your paper, but you're not giving them enough time to see what they're about. You're brushing them off. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what I want. Because they're looking for this 6'2". This guy was making $250,000 with
Yeah.
six pack. When they're 40s or 50, you may get a man with a little belly. Like what?
Especially if you have a belly, like,
If
come
you
on.
have a belly and some fat, like
Yeah.
what are you saying?
Thing. But these are all the telltale signs of people who haven't done the work. They haven't sat with
Absolutely.
themselves. They don't know who they are. So they've let social media tell them what they should desire in a man. You and I have talked about this whole there are no men. Yeah, there are no men for you. So let's look at you and why you're not able to attract men because a lot of people are having a lot of success. But it's always
Exactly.
difficult. Again, it's still that thing about looking in the mirror and really coming to terms with, okay, maybe I need to be looking at myself. People, it's very uncomfortable. It's
Mhm.
very, very difficult. So it's easy. And again, it's still back to what you were saying about, oh, love. They're just looking for somebody to come and love them. Like, oh, I just need to find a man and I'll be loved. No one can love you more than you love yourself.
Absolutely not. It
So if you
starts
don't
with
love yourself,
you.
like, who do you think you're going to attract?
But Joan, can you imagine a man come who's really open and ready for love because he's done the work,
Yeah.
and then come to you who's like,
Like,
no, you're just too soft to me. I need a roughneck.
yeah,
What?
exactly. You want drama. You want the toxicity.
Yes.
You want the drama because it gives you that high. So it's very essential. And this is, when people talk about healing, like this is the healing. The healing is for you to return to your truth, to your power, to your true self. And that's the work that you're doing to really help women get ready. Is now to get you to the next level. Now you're ready for relationships. But it
Exactly.
starts with the self. You have to know yourself, heal yourself, and then love yourself.
Absolutely. Boom, 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 boom. And that's why I love your work. And that's why I'm saying, no, man, I have to go and connect with Joan because I feel that we're in such synergy in our work. Let me heal you and then Joan will find the love for you.
Just pass that. I thought it was yeah, but that is so, so awesome. And I really want to encourage a lot of women. And I love that now women are being able to speak more about this, to openly share, because a lot of the time people think that they're the only ones going through this stuff.
Yes,
A
I thought
lot
I
of people are
was,
going through
I
this.
thought I was the only one. So you are correct. I thought I was the only one that was going through it. Nobody would understand.
So
It's
many people.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
So for anybody who has been thinking about maybe they're ready, maybe the crack has been there and now it's time to burn down that house. That's your person, right? You don't have to do this journey alone. And that
No,
when I was going through my divorce, I kind of did it on my own because I didn't know anything about all this stuff. But I wish I had the support. I wish I had someone like you who could help
yeah.
me. And imagine you're not only getting to heal from the relationship and reclaim yourself, you also get to have an orgasm. Hello.
Hello, hello. All in one package.
Let's not forget that one.
Listen, like everything. Let me teach you how to breathe.
Yeah. So I absolutely love it. So your book, I love you and it won't happen again. Where can people get it? I know I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but where can they get the book?
Right now it's on Amazon. I do have my own copies and here, but yeah, more than likely let them go to Amazon. All my books are on Amazon. The last one though, I saw that as it's on Amazon Kindle because it's an ebook, the last one that I wrote. But I
Okay.
also have it downloadable from my site that I have, a couple
Okay.
sites
So
that I have.
I'll
Yeah.
put your link as well in the show notes. And what's that other one?
Oh, so there's three. So the first one is called Heads Up, Chest Out. Yeah, I know. Heads Up, Chest Out, and Own Your Shit. It's about how to abuse your sexuality while connecting with yourself. It talks about orgasm and how to feel your way through orgasm. And it's supposed to be patient, but first of all, you have to be confident. And it's so funny, when I wrote this book, and I said that's in a video, I didn't put all the pieces together. It's what I was going through at the moment. Like how to heads up, chest out, and all your shit was the first one and how
Mm.
to connect yourself to sexuality. And then when I wrote the second one, which is I Love You and I Won't Do It Again, it's about reclamation and how to heal from trauma, emotional and physical abuse, or whatever trauma may look like to you, and how to reclaim yourself from that, and how to build up and present the true authentic you. And then the other one is called The Big O
Ooh.
After Divorce. Yeah. Yeah, so that one is an easy read. It's a mild erotic. So it's literally talking about how the woman was through her divorce, to her married and divorce, and how she reclaimed her true sexuality and true orgasm at the end. You know what? To be honest, I wrote this 10 years ago, and again, no voice and shame around sex. Not necessarily, I was thinking about my children. Like, and why am I always thinking they're grown, too bad for them. So I thought, you know what? I just did it. So it's a nice, quick, easy read, and that's how that one came about.
I know a lot of women that need to read that stuff. They might not
Mhm.
immediately admit it because there's still a
And
lot of
that's okay.
but
Baby steps,
baby
baby
steps.
steps. Yeah,
Right. So grab the books, read them, and maybe decide that this is the year that you choose you, that you
absolutely.
actually prioritize yourself and you go on this journey. Because once you heal yourself, everybody around you gets to benefit from you.
They
We
get
need
the
to
benefit.
feel authentic version of you.
Yes,
You can breathe easy. You can wake up every day just loving yourself, just knowing that
absolutely.
you're whole, you're enough, right?
Absolutely.
And that is
Absolutely.
around you. So this work is really, really amazing, and I love everything that you do.
Thank
I
you.
can see our future together. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff for sure.
No, and we should, like, I honestly feel that we should. With great synergy, so we should. Let's do something together.
Okay. Well, thank you. Any final words before I wrap this up?
To be honest, my final word is I just want women to be their most authentic self. And what does that look like? And that's a question you have to ask yourself. How am I showing up in the world? Who am I and where do I see myself? And until you answer that truthfully, then things are going to start shifting and pivoted for you, going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Big questions to sit with, but worth it. Absolutely worth it. Because if you're not your authentic self, it's just the same cycle, it's just a struggle. Well, thank you so much, Donna, for being here. This was super,
Thank you.
super amazing. And I can't wait. We're going to do some IG lives pretty soon,
Mm-hmm.
this stuff as well. But yeah, I look forward to collaborating with you pretty soon.
Yes. Let's do this.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me this week on this special episode of Love by Design. I will see you same time next week. Thank you.